Can. Okay. Perfect. Hi, everyone. I wanted to start with a quick icebreaker. My name is Graciela Nobles. I work with the Ask Benji project under Dr. Murphy. And we sent out a Mythbusters to our students last week, asking them what was one FAFSA misconception that they might have that might be holding them back from completing the FAFSA. So I wanted you all to look at the question. We have five options here. So you could select what you thought were one of our top responses. So you can put in the chat one, two, three, four, and let me know what you all thought, students and parents thought was a hang up for them before they could complete the FAFSA. So yeah, I'll give a couple minutes for you all to look at the options, look at the question, and this just gives you an example of some of the things that our team and Lizette is creating to send out to our Benji users throughout our state of Arizona. Okay, we have some ones in here, some fives and twos. Okay. Oh, we got a lot of ones. Cool. Okay, I'll just give you a couple more minutes if you haven't responded, or a couple seconds. I'm going to move on to the answers. And it was option one and two. We have a lot of students who think that their parents make too much money, so they don't see the value of completing the financial aid application. And if you've ever heard Dr. Murphy talk, you know that that's not the case for a lot of our students in the state of Arizona. A lot of our students will qualify for some form of federal financial aid. So that was that was the one we kept getting back, that students or parents just assume that they're making too much money. The other one was that the idea that the FAFSA is hard. I know last year probably kind of impacted that narrative, but we have been doing some of the cafe events, and I say we, I know Dr. Murphy and Lizette, they've been talking about how the FAFSA application, for most, not all, have been going pretty well. I know I got to participate with some of the beta testing for the FAFSA before it launched, and it was surprising how more smoothly it had gone compared to my experience for the last senior class. But those are the two misconceptions that we are seeing from our Benji users. So that's something that our team is taking, and we're going to try to address those and dispel those when we start messaging our students and parents. And now you all know that that's something we're seeing, and you can help us kind of share that. Number one, it's not their income is probably not going to limit them, and they should fill it out. And number two, it's not as hard as it seemed like last year. So those were our two FAFSA misconceptions that we got the most. Apologies, my screensaver or my little thing is going off a little whack. I did want to quickly go into what we'll be covering today. We did our icebreaker. I'm going to go over our quick announcements that you just got a sneak preview of. We have two special speakers today to talk about some summer and pre-college resources for our students in the state of Arizona. And I'll have them go on in just a couple minutes. But I did want to share what our next events would be in February 19th and March. We will be talking about some Arizona Community College updates in February, and then we'll have some updates from the Department of Ed in March. So I will send out some information after this so you guys can sign up and share the information. But I did want to share that those were our next Lunch and Learns coming up. Another one is that Arizona Board of Regents and College Ready, is they're going to be doing their spring training ticket giveaway. Maybe that's not the correct term, and Dr. Murphy can correct me, but the Cactus League is partnering up with the Arizona Board of Regents to help students in the state who have completed the FAFSA to enter and get tickets. So here's the flyer. If you haven't seen it, it will be in my slide deck, and then you guys can click on the link and you'll be able to share that information out. Another like a motivational factor for students to complete the FAFSA. So they can sign up, share that they've completed the FAFSA, it'll be verified, and then they could be entered to get tickets to one of the spring training games. Some other events that we have coming up, we have the 2025 virtual counselor spring training. So this is an event for you all, practitioners working in this space. This will happen after our last Lunch and Learn. This will happen in April. So I will have the registration link in the slide deck so you guys can start signing up. We want as many people to come. We'll have more resources. It'll be like a lunch and learn, kind of like on steroids. We'll have a couple different breakout sessions. Another one, it's a little further away, but it's something just to keep in mind. I think last time the spaces filled up really quick, but there is the 2025 FAFSA and CCR Symposium happening in September. More information will come out. Dr. Murphy will probably provide more information throughout our lunch and learns as that comes about, and you'll probably hear about it throughout the summer. So those are two things to I look out for and sign up for. And like I said, everything we talk about in this presentation will be in our slide deck. And now I'm going to kick it over to our first speaker. Mr. McCormick, I'll let you come on.
Great. Thank you so much. Want to just give thanks for the opportunity to Education Forward Arizona, to Graciela, and also to Dr. Jennifer Murphy for allowing us this space to come in and to be able to share a little bit about some summer program opportunities. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. Awesome. So as the slide says, we're here to talk a little bit about summer programs and just that opportunity for students to go above and beyond, right? As we're thinking about college preparation, regardless of a student's grade level, how they're utilizing their out of school time, but especially their summer, oftentimes can set students on a path to be as prepared as possible for college. It can allow the opportunity for students to become aware of areas that they may decide are areas that they want to pursue in terms of academic and career pathways, or areas that sometimes students will encounter. They'll think that they're really excited about, and then they'll go in and have an experience that may kind of just inform them and kind of let them know that it is an area that they may decide not to go into. Still is important to have that opportunity to do that exploration, either in after school settings or again in summer as well. My name is Rudy McCormick, and I serve as director for the Office of Early Academic Outreach. Wanted to utilize this time to kind of just mention a colleague that we have within our office. Her name is Angelique Rodriguez. She is stationed there in the Phoenix area, but she's leading our statewide strategic outreach initiatives. And so if you ever are interested in having our team come in to do presentations for your school, or to kind of have a presence in a K through 10 space, then Angelique is a member of our early academic outreach team, and she can help to coordinate that. She largely works with our schools in the Phoenix area, but if there's interest in kind of getting support here in the southern region, or we've even done virtual presentations for folks that may be in other areas, please feel free to reach out to our office if you're interested in kind of learning more about some of the presentations and topics that we work to cover with students and with school partners. So that's Angelique's email address there. Just a word about myself. I went to the University of Arizona as a first generation college student a long time ago. But as I've had the opportunity to kind of work on campus, it really has been a passion of mine to be able to work with students and with families to be able to understand the college opportunities that are available to them. That's a little bit about myself. I'm a first generation college bound student, and now I get a chance to kind of work with students and families to understand that college pathway. For some reason, I believe the presentation has advanced a bit on the slides. If we go back, yeah, that'll be a good place right there.
Apologies.
No,
You're back.
no problem at all. So just will mention that on our website at Early Academic Outreach, we've established a page where we try to organize the many different summer programs that may be available at the University of Arizona. And there probably are other summer opportunities that are there as well. But we've tried to kind of organize as much as possible. Whenever we hear about a summer program, we try to add them to this website. So I'll kind of mention that for counselors, for educators out there that would like to kind of take note of these. Um, this is a website that we're committed to kind of continue to keep active and keep updated with summer programs as they come up. And oftentimes these are just short descriptions and links that will kind of take you to these summer opportunities. I'm going to take a moment to kind of go through a number of our summer program opportunities, in particular at the high school level, and talk about some of these options, but wanted you to know that this resource is there. If for some reason you're aware of another summer program at the University of Arizona, again, occasionally these will come up. I actually just recently came across one that I'm trying to get more information on. So feel free to reach out to me if there's another one that you think that I should list here. But this is a website that I'm hoping will be serve as a good resource to you all. On the next slide, we'll go ahead and kind of jump into some of these summer programs. I think that that
Just
might
a
have been
second.
the, yeah, no problem.
I'm going to pause. Apologies. This is correct, right, Rudy?
Yeah, so I think that I
Perfect.
had it as the first slide and as the last
Oh,
slide, so I
okay.
think we'll just have to click back a bit. Um,
Okay. This should be the next one for you.
Let me see. Yes, perfect. That's perfect. Okay, awesome. So, one of the summer programs I wanted to start off. Most of our summer programs are kind of here at the University of Arizona in Tucson, but I did want to start off with one opportunity that actually is starting at the youngest grade level in high school, but that's also offered in the Phoenix area. So, hoping that this might be of interest to those in the central region. We have a summer scrubs program that's out of the University of Arizona College of Medicine in Phoenix, of course. Um, and there's two options there for students. The Explore Medicine program is more for 11th grade students, 11th grade high school students, for them to, again, explore that opportunity of a future career within the field of medicine. But there's also a healthcare team option for ninth and 10th graders. So this is an opportunity for students to get into that, to get a sense of what an academic and career pathway within health professions would look like. It's an opportunity for them to kind of come onto campus to get some of those hands-on activity, have some of those hands-on interactions, and to begin to kind of build what will be things that can be added to their resume to kind of highlight for as they then apply to colleges and universities, and even later as they're applying to colleges of medicine, possibly physician assistant school. I'll mention my daughter right now is in her senior year at the University of Arizona, and she's completing her undergraduate career, but then she's off to physician assistant school. And on her resume, she still has summer programs that she did when she was in high school, in particular, that are related, of course, to her career goals, such as kind of going into the field of medicine. So, Summer Scrubs is a great opportunity there in the Phoenix area. These are 1 week programs that allow students to get some experience and to get some of that knowledge base. One of the things that we oftentimes will hear um, sometimes when students are having to interact with the health profession, um, in some cases they'll go in and they'll have a really great experience. In some cases they'll realize that there's the drawing of blood, there's fluids, there's these other things that are involved, and that sometimes we'll tell a student that, like, oh, just not the field for me, or they'll find out that there's other areas of that field that they can kind of jump into. So again, it's that opportunity during the summer to get a sense of this. So that's Summer Scrubs. You've got the website there. On each of these slides, I'm trying to highlight the program and the website so that you can direct your students. Again, 9th through 11th grade opportunities here. The next slide is our, if we'll go back one more slide, I believe. It'll be, let's see
I'm gonna
here.
just
So
exit out of this.
no
It's
problem.
it's being weird.
So yeah, that's perfect. Awesome. So Summer Engineering Academy. So for Summer Engineering Academy, that's all of our College of Engineering. In a similar way, the Summer Engineering Academy offers students the opportunities to either come and actually live on campus through a residential option or to do day camps. So the residential option is that option to kind of be able to stay on campus to stay overnight. It's more of an extended experience. And there are also day camps available that are still week long. Both options are week long. But in one case, a student would come onto campus. They'd spend the day kind of exploring different topics of engineering, um, and then be able to go home at the end of the day. In the residential camp, the day continues. It's an extended kind of opportunity for the students to get to know the other students that are in Summer Engineering Academy, but then to also have some further exploration of these topics of engineering. What I really appreciate about the Summer Engineering Academy is that they'll take like two or three different fields of engineering and kind of put together these week-long options. So students can go in and they can find that topic that might be most of interest to them. Just yesterday, I was talking to a young woman who was interested both in chemical and material science elements of engineering. She would be able to jump into Summer Engineering Academy, kind of look at the website and see where is material science kind of a focus area during the different options that Summer Engineering Academy is offering. And then also what might kind of the chemical engineering opportunities be. So students have a chance to kind of explore some of these fields of engineering and also see how these fields of engineering are coming together to work together to solve some of the world's problems that they would be working with if they were kind of working within industry. Um, so on their website, they've got various different options for these week-long opportunities. Again, either at the day or residential camp setting. Oftentimes, being able to meet with professors, graduate students, meeting with current students, and of course, engaging with one another. That's one of the great things I think about summer programs also is this opportunity to develop these college-bound peer groups that may go beyond your school setting and you may be interacting with students from other schools within your area or from students across the state as well. So Summer Engineering Academy for students that are going, this is one that's available for students from ninth through 12th grade. And so students that are entering into those grades can kind of look at these program options and consider them for the Summer Engineering Academy. Next, we'll jump into our Native American Science and Engineering program. Um, this is somewhat similar, but it's different. This is actually offered out of our office. And our Native American Science and Engineering program identifies current 10th and 11th graders. Each year, we choose a cohort of 24 students from across the state of Arizona. I think we usually have representative groups from across the state that are coming into the program. And they stay with us for a 1 week residential program. Similar to Summer Engineering Academy, as I mentioned, they have an opportunity to engage in a variety of different STEM opportunities. In these opportunities, they will explore things such as 3D printing and they'll explore robotics. The last few years, we've had students kind of engage in robotics, a little bit of computer programming, some 3D printing to create these small little bots that then kind of challenge each other in a final, almost like battle bot scenario. Um, so that occurs during the entire week. And then for NASEP, what happens is that's kind of the first part of the program. Students right now are in the year-long component, where the students are supported both in terms of their exploration of colleges and universities. We have staff that will help them in terms of either exploring colleges and universities or filling out the FAFSA exploring scholarship opportunities, all of that support is provided. But then we also engage the students in this year-long college level research project. Students oftentimes may take on topics such as water quality, air quality, sustainability, or students may choose kind of topics of their own, and they work to develop this college level research poster that we then encourage them to submit into local and statewide science fairs, so they can, again, start to build that portfolio of experience that hopefully will help them as they're seeking to gain admission into a STEM field, or as they're applying for scholarships, that this is something that sets them apart, right? That going above and beyond. So that's what's involved in the year-long college research project. This program here is free, and participants receive an iPad for participation and also to facilitate us being able to communicate with the students across the year-long program as well. And you've got our website there as well. Want to say something in the case of NASEP, our program is free here. There are also some of these programs may have fees. Please, whenever it's a summer program, if the fee is a concern for the students or the families, please inquire with the program to ask if there's any scholarships or waivers that may be available to the students. Oftentimes, most of these summer programs have something that's available. Will it fit for every single student? I'm not sure, but we always encourage students that if for some reason cost is prohibitive, to please ask about that. And many of these programs will have options. The next program that we'll kind of explore is a program at the University of Arizona, very similar to the summer scrub opportunity, except that this is the 6-week program offered from, I think this year the dates are June 1st through July 12th. And so for 6 weeks, students get to kind of stay on the University of Arizona campus and to have very kind of targeted workshops that focus on health careers, but they're also, in this case, able to gain some college credit. So that college credit is going to help a student, of course, as they come into the university. That's an opportunity for them to save money as well, in terms of having less courses to kind of complete as they make their way towards their degree. And again, what's great here is that opportunity to kind of put students into kind of lab settings. There's a great suite at the College of Medicine that has these, I'm going to call them dummies. It's probably not the right way. There's probably a more official term, but where students can get in there and kind of course, take kind of see what it's like to kind of take the pulse of the patient. That these dummies are kind of can go all the way through kind of showing students, leading them through kind of the process of childbirth. Things that are really kind of utilized with our College of Medicine students, that these high school students have an opportunity to get in, to kind of interact with, to see, to experience really exciting things that I think oftentimes for our students, they may come in saying, like, I'm interested in a career in medicine, and they may leave saying to themselves, you know what? Career medicine has a lot of options, and I'm walking away knowing that I want to go into this specific field. Maybe it's pediatrics, could be a different area, but they're able to kind of explore some of that over this summer program. The summer program also oftentimes is taking students to other campuses. So I want to say that there is a kind of a short field trip component during the 6-week program where they get to go off to Phoenix and to the northern region as well, to get to see and get some different perspectives on the field of healthcare as well. So this is a great program. I mentioned my daughter, who right now is in her final year at the University of Arizona, and she's thinking about physician assistant school. She actually had a chance to participate in this MedStart program, and it's a great program. I want to say that this program started around 1970 as well. So a lot of these summer programs have some great history to them, but great opportunities for students to engage in this really more extended opportunity through the 6-week MedStart program. I will mention deadline on these summer programs. We want to get into them very quickly. I think MedStart is one of the first programs that kind of has a deadline that's really kind of upcoming really fast. So that's February 1st. So please share that with any students and keep that in mind for future students as well. This one is the deadline that does come up fairly quickly. On the next slide, we've got the last summer program that I'm going to mention also has a similar history to the MedStart program. I think both programs ended up starting right around the same time. And this program is called the New Start Summer Program. At many colleges and universities, you have summer bridge programs. These are for students who have graduated from high school and are admitted to the college or university, and they allow the student to spend some time on the campus. Oftentimes, they allow the student to gain academic credit and to have that sense of kind of getting to know that next level of education. So students are able to kind of there's some residential option for non-Tucson students, and even some of our Tucson students have their spaces that will allow them to kind of stay on campus during this 6 week summer program as well. So you'll see the dates there, June 8th through July 18th. I mentioned that students during this daily or the 6 week program, daily they're going to be meeting with peer mentors who are going to orient them to the University of Arizona, to the campus, and to the very many resources that are available for students. So much so that oftentimes New Start students leave the program feeling like they can direct other first year students as they're coming onto campus. I say this because I myself was a New Start summer program participant a long, long time ago, but it really helped me. I remember being a student from Tucson, first in my family to go to college. I couldn't even tell you what the cross streets were for the University of Arizona, but I had found out about this program that was supposed to help students like myself, students who may be first in their family, to go to college, and it really did. I left with so much kind of confidence from the program. Still had questions, maybe still didn't know all the answers, but I knew where to go to find those answers. And it gives an opportunity for students to earn academic credit towards their degree, oftentimes being able to lighten that first year load, so that load of coursework, so that hopefully students can kind of focus in on their coursework, do as best as possible after receiving this really thorough 6 week orientation to the college and university. Um, so there is both that kind of academic component and then the opportunity to meet with their peer mentors to get that orientation. There's a lot of social elements too. So all of these programs, I think one of the struggles for us that when we talk to folks about summer programs is that students say summer school. And they think that there's not a social component to that. There is. And so in so many of these, in You Start, for example, there's a talent show. There's a an evening games night and dance. So there's all these different components where students end up really enjoying it. I oftentimes will tell the story that like students will arrive at summer programs and they're kind of upset because parents have signed them up for it. And then at the very end of the programs, we have our students kind of tearing up, having to leave kind of their fellow friends that they made in the program. Even if it's just kind of a couple of weeks later that they'll be coming back and reuniting with those friends. Oftentimes make those emotional connections, those social connections. And New Start, Med Start, these programs, oftentimes we'll hear students say, these were friendships, these were people that I remain connected to throughout my college career. So just a great way to get started at the University of Arizona. Once students are admitted to the University of Arizona, they can apply for the New Start program. This program, if you look at the cost of the program, sometimes will get students and families to say, no, I'm not gonna, that seems like quite a bit to pay. But students who qualify for need-based financial aid do not who qualify specifically for the Pell Grant do not have to pay anything to participate in this program. So as was mentioned earlier, so many times our students think, I'm not going to qualify for need-based financial aid. Please fill out that FAFSA for the obvious reasons of getting students to understand all of their college options. But then in this program, students are encouraged to fill out last year's FAFSA. And if they qualify on either of those two FAFSAs for the Pell Grant, the program is free to them. They're gaining that academic units, that whole experience at no cost to them. So the New Start Summer Program is oftentimes one of is a great program. I always encourage summer bridge programs regardless of what institution the student is going into, and I encourage summer programs again to the students as they're considering their options. Last slide we're going to kind of just bring back up again is just I just presented just a few programs, especially at that high school level. I don't know that I presented all of them, but just wanted to give you kind of some different options there in some different areas, both in the Phoenix area, here in Tucson, but then in these different academic areas, some with cultural components, some that have that summer bridge component, but more options. And these are some of the ones, again, that we list on our summer program page off of our early academic outreach website. You can get to it by either the website or this QR link, and then there's links to our summer programs there. We really, again, want to thank you for being on the line today and for kind of seeking this information for your students and advertising these programs to them, making sure that they're aware. We really do feel that this is that summer programs are a way for students to go above and beyond their typical academic year experience and to get them keep them thinking about and planning for college. And so again, we thank you for your time today.
Thank you. I have Lizette dropping in that main link in the chat so you guys can pick it up. I will be sending the slide deck out to everyone, so don't worry. And we will now bring on our speaker from ASU.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lorena Figueroa, and I am the Cesar Chavez Leadership Institute Coordinator at ASU. And today I am going to talk about three of our summer programs at ASU, starting with CCLI. So CCLI is a 4-day summer program from June 22 to the 25th. This summer program, we have topics and workshops that are served for our Hispanic, Latinx, Mexican students. However, all our students are more than welcome to apply. This summer program is an overnight stay program. So we are located at Tempe, and we try to bring to our students the college experience, but also that social component as well. We want to make summer program fun. We want to make it memorable. We want to make sure that our students share to their friends. That way they want to participate again for the following year. So here at CCLI, we have our camp topics such as sense of belonging, servant leadership, financial literacy, community engagement, career exploration. So basically what this means for our students and families is that we want to make sure that our students get that campus experience by bringing professors, community speakers, community partnerships. We try to have that college experience in the classroom, having workshops, having arts, humanities, STEMs included, and also making it interactive for our students. So, with that being said, we do have 11 rising 11 graders and rising 12 graders in our program to attend for camp. And so part of that, we do have an application workshop for our ASU, for our future Sun Devils if they're interested. But most importantly, that college readiness experience as well. And so currently, as of right now, our application is not available, but it will become available the first week of February. So in the meantime, if there are any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to communicate through our email at ccli@asu. I am the one that looks over. I respond daily. So if there are any questions or concerns in terms of the application process or anything that parents might be aware about or concerned, I am your go-to person. A little more about the detail application is that our cost to attend is $50. So what this essentially means is that when you apply, you don't have to pay anything, it's essentially free. However, once the student is admitted and accepted, they do have to do that $50 deposit. Part of our application, what we expect from our student is an easy essay, kind of going more into detail of what they're interested about, their careers, um, going in the topics of servant leadership. And the reason into why we ask that is because we want to make sure that the topics and the workshops that we bring to our students are relevant to our students and our families. So with that being said, our application deadline does close on March 31st. And we can move on to the next slide because it's the similar template as CCLI. So moving on with our following camp, it is called the Rice Leadership Institute. We do have, it is a residential overnight stay at Tempe campus here. So it's from June 8th to the 11th at 2025. It is a residential college readiness program that is offered for our Black and African American students. It is open to every student to attend to our camp. We have workshops, college readiness sessions, and we have financial literacy. We try to make it as fun, similar to CCLI. Here we try to bring entrepreneurship. We try to make it memorable as well. And moving on with the application process is similar to the procedure as CCLI, where the cost to attend is that $50 non-refundable fee. Our application will open on February 1st, and our application deadline will be March 31st. If you have any questions or concerns, you're more than welcome to contact the email at rice.access@asu.edu. We tend to look at our, again, as mentioned, our emails daily for any questions or concerns. With the application and eligibility, it is for our rising 11 and 12th graders. Here at our camp, we try to offer the opportunity for application workshop for them to apply for ASU. We also bring admissions for any questions or concerns. However, this is not only limited to ASU. We want our students to follow their dreams, to follow their passions. It doesn't have to be here, but one thing that we want to make sure that we accomplish at our camps is that our students feel fulfilled, they feel confident. And so here in our camps and at Rise, we want to make sure that we answer those questions, whether that means if they want to go elsewhere to study. And so with that being said, admissions, we bring in admissions, as I mentioned. We bring in other college career opportunities. So career exploration being into that. We try to also cater and serve our Black and African American students and careers that they might be underrepresented. So we try to cater to our students and things that they haven't probably thought about, because oftentimes students are thinking about, well, what about STEM? Like maybe I should go to STEM because it has a lot of money. But in reality, a lot of students don't know how to get there or don't know the possible career opportunities that are offered to students, or they don't know the background details that happen. So we try to make sure that we include those workshops and we make sure that they practice there with a professor, making an activity and letting them know like, hey, what you're doing is actually this. Like, how do you feel about it? And sometimes students will be very transparent, like, this was really hard, or I did not like this. But this is the opportunity for students to learn, to have fun, and to share these experiences with their peers. So if there's any questions or concerns with our application or more further detail of what happens in our camp, you're more than welcome to contact our emails. And we'll be gladly to help you out and respond to you as soon as possible. Moving on to our third camp. So our third camp is Barrett Summer Scholars. So this camp is it's a lot more distinct than our Rice and CCLI. And the reason for that is because our eligibility starts from ninth grade to 12th grade. Every camp session is based on different grade levels, and we have residential night stays in different locations. So Tempe campus, downtown, West, Poly campus. Um, this camp is for our high achieving academic students. They have the opportunity to work closely with professors and have that college field experience at ASU by essentially taking college courses, getting that insight, and seeing what it feels to be a college student. Here, we do have an eligibility requirement of a minimum GPA of a 2.7. Um, and another distinct thing that we have for our application, it is $1,000 per participant and a 50 non-refundable fee. With that being said, there, if your students are interested to apply to this application, and there's a upcoming slide where you can access our websites, is that here, if your student's interested and they cannot, and they're having financial difficulties, there are other loopholes that you can manage for that fee, and you can look more closely into our website. The application for Barrett Summer Scholars does open in February, and they do close on March 1st. So with that, this one is that it starts in June and it ends at June 25th, but it's for different grade levels, and you do work closely, and students have the opportunity to communicate with with ASU professors and get that community college readiness experience. It is more academic based, and it's just, again, it's for our high academic achieving students. So following with our last slide is that this is where you can access all our summer camp programs, including Barrett, CCLI, and RISE. However, because our applications aren't open yet, our websites are not up to date. So they won't be up to date until February, the first week of February. And it's very, very helpful once you click on the website, because there you will have access to our camp webinars. So you will have more details of who our staff is, the location, the residential halls they will be staying at, and just an overview experience of what camp will be, and general questions or concerns, especially that parents might have, especially if they're wary about leaving their kids stay overnight. So there'll be webinar presentations, there'll be more contact information, and also there will be the application ready and available. My information will become available that first week of February if you would like to contact me directly. And this is also very applicable to our Rice and Barrett Summer Scholars. And thank you all for your time. If you have any questions or concerns, again, feel free to contact me and I will respond to you as soon as possible.
I know Lizette's putting some links in the chat. Any questions for our two speakers before Dr. Murphy comes on? Feel free to unmute yourselves or drop it in the chat.
All right. Well, I'll take that as a no.
Yeah, we'll keep track of it. I think Lizette has been answering questions. So if not, feel free to reach out to me. Dr. Murphy, it's you now.
Perfect. Thank you, Lorena. Thank you, Rudy. That was great. Exactly what we were hoping that you would share, and love that there's so many opportunities for our kiddos out there to begin that kind of pre-college process. So thank you both again for taking the time to do this. I just wanted to briefly share some AzCAN updates. We have already kind of covered the virtual counselor spring training and the upcoming FastFund CCR Summit, which we will be getting additional information for. I just wanted to share kind of where we're at in terms of the spring CAP training courses. So we've got 2 that are in effect right now. We have 1 that will be starting on February 3rd, and then our 2 middle grades courses, March 3rd, March 31st. You're going to notice a new course, Leveraging Data and Advising Frameworks to Enhance Post-Secondary Outcomes. This is really geared towards our school counselors, classroom teachers, administrators, and college access professionals. You'll notice that if you're familiar with CAP courses, that's kind of our standard population minus the inclusion now of administrators. So really hoping to kind of take this course and scale it to that leadership level. If you'll go to the next slide for me. I just wanted to provide kind of an overview of what this particular course is. So it is, again, 4 modules or 4 weeks, just like all of our other CAP courses. It's really highly focused on continuous improvement science, and that's inclusive of student and administrator feedback. Next slide, please. As well as data and how to effectively use data, both at just kind of a high level as well as disaggregation, using data for equity purposes, as well as establishing effective data routines for schools and organizations. Lastly, really hyper-focusing on this idea of a post-secondary advising framework, and one that is already in existence is our AzCAN College Access Standards for Student Success. So being able to look at those that are inclusive of ECAP and have a robust kind of roadmap for how to work with students to have all aspects of ECAP included, as well as some NCAN measures that are college and career focused. So just wanted to put this out. The next slide will have a QR code that will take you to this document if you're interested in downloading that and having that to share with your colleagues, whether it's at a school or an organization. Please feel free to do so. Next slide. We have 2 new courses starting next academic school year. I'm actually going to start working on the 25-26 CAP training schedule, and it will include these 2 courses, coordinating student basic needs in Arizona, and then focusing on special education and transition pathways. So trying to kind of scale our course offerings and take into consideration and put into action feedback that we're receiving from our partners. Next slide. This is my standard. Don't forget, if you're not already a member of this free professional organization, you too can be part of the Arizona College Access Network, which again is free. You will receive a very robust and comprehensive monthly newsletter that is inclusive of ADE and ABOR information, resources, tools, updates, as well as National College Attainment Network or NCAN tools, resources, updates. So please take a moment to join if you have not already. Next slide. This is incredibly important. This is the AzCAN FAFSA Resource Hub. So this is a statewide resource that I update virtually on a daily basis based off of what's coming out of FSA and what we know about best practices, tools, resources, and information related to the 25-26 FAFSA cycle. There are also archived 24-25 resources for those of you who might still be working with students who are already in college as first-year freshmen. So please make sure you bookmark this. This is, again, dynamically updated, has the most recent updated information from FSA, as well as all of our organizations and partners that we rely on for tools, resources, so on and so forth. So please make sure that you have that readily accessible. If you ever have any questions about it, please shoot me an email. Again, updated on a regular. Last slide. This is just our final slide, a reminder about our February Lunch and Learn, where we're going to be looking at some of our community college updates, providing you information on what's going on, not only locally in Maricopa for our folks that are in the Valley, but also at some of our other partners that have some great things going on and new information to share. So please make sure that you register for that. And if you have any questions for myself, or if you come up with any questions for our presenters, please feel free to pop that in the chat or take yourself off of mute.
I think I saw a question with one of the links not working, so I'm going to have Lizette drop the AzCAN link so you can see all the different options that Dr. Murphy just talked about.
Hey, Beth, which QR code was it? If you would be able to tell me. Is Beth still in here?
It looks like it might have been the leveraging data and advising frameworks QR code.
Okay. That's the one I tried to do on the fly, so I'm not surprised by that. I will make sure to update that and or include the link that might be a little bit easier to access that. So appreciate that. Thank you so much.
I'll make
Any
sure
other-
to include the link in my email as well.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
we'll have everything together. That's all. I think we got through 3 speakers fairly efficiently, minus my mishaps with the slide deck. So apologies, Mr. McCormick. But thank you all for coming. I will get all this information out to you. And as always, you can always go to our Ask Benji Educator Toolkit and get a library of all our past events. And I will hopefully see you in a couple weeks in February. Anything else we wanted to quickly mention, Dr. Murphy, before we let them go? I didn't know if I missed in any announcements that Julie likes to talk about.
No, hey, Danielle, will you shoot me an email?
Perfect. Okay, everyone. I'm going to stop recording. Thank you so much.
Or Danielle,
Thank you,
stay on the
everybody.
line.
Yeah, you can stay if you have questions.